Hi, good morning. It's Friday, and there's no need to say thank God it's Friday, because I'm sure all of us who are watching this have Friday every day at the moment, now that we're in lockdown. And so today I wanted to talk to you about hope. And one day, many years ago, I was throwing a stick for our dog, our Labrador, and he loved to bring and fetch until he was utterly exhausted when he would normally lie down and hold it in his mouth so that we couldn't take it back, and while he got a rest, and then he would start again endlessly. And on this occasion I'd thrown it many times and he brought it back to me, and then I suddenly noticed there was a hoof at the end of it, and I realized that I wasn't throwing a stick at all. It was in fact a deer leg, a mummified small deer leg. And you can imagine my reaction. It wasn't a very pleasant experience. And then I realized, in fact, that it was completely dead and had been for many decades, and probably maybe even centuries. It was completely mummified, but the only sign of it being a leg was this hoof on the end. And that put me in mind of today's reading, which comes from the Old Testament reading for this coming Sunday, and it's the Valley of the Dry Bones. Remember that old song? Dem bones, dem dry bones, now hear the word of the Lord. Ezekiel chapter 37. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and he brought me out by the Spirit of the Lord and set me in the middle of a valley. It was full of bones. He led me back and forth among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley, bones that were very, very dry. He asked me, Son of man, can these bones live? I said, Lord, you alone know. Then he said to me, prophesy to these bones and say to them, dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says to these bones. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you and make flesh come upon you and cover you with skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life. Then you will know that I am the Lord. Well, Israel was in exile, and things must have seemed pretty hopeless to people, like bones completely dry, with bones with all the life taken out of them, no marrow left. And marrow meant life to the Israelites. And God says, look, I can bring life out of death. I can bring life out of nothing, new life. And that's really what the Christian gospel is about. Giving us new life in death, bringing us hope in times of hopelessness, and I mean sure and certain hope in times of hopelessness. Giving us the life too of his living word, Jesus, the life that he brings, the life of his Spirit who is poured out within us and brings us to life, the breath of God. In your heart, you know the importance of breath. If you've ever experienced a shortness of it, you know how important it is to you. It's with you every day, every part of your life. It is with you even at the point of death, and we can gasp for breath sometimes at that point, and this current virus reminds us of that. But God's life, God's breath, is within us always, and his breath isn't limited by the grave. That's the message of this reading too, that his death goes beyond the grave and brings us to life. And so today I want to play you a song to finish with, a song written and sung by one of our members in one of our churches in the Costa Almeria and Costa Calida Anglican Church. And I wanted to just show you as I finish a cross, and it's a cross that came from something called Renew, a course I went on many years ago called Renew, in which I thought about these things, thought about life and renewal and the life of God. And so here we go. Perfect Love by Sharon Elizabeth Regan.